Have you ever noticed how noisy our lives are? I'm not just talking about the sound of traffic or the ping of your phone. I'm talking about the noise inside. That non-stop committee meeting in your head. The voice that, right as you're trying to fall asleep, suddenly remembers every embarrassing thing you've said since high school. The voice that worries about tomorrow. The voice that regrets yesterday. The voice that is constantly planning, comparing, judging, and worrying. Does your mind ever just stop? Or does it feel like you're a passenger being dragged along by your own thoughts? Here's the truth. An overthinking mind is like muddy water. When it's churning, when it's chaotic, what can it reflect? Nothing. You can't see the sky. You can't see your own reflection. You just see the mud. Only when the water becomes still can it show you the truth. Today's story is about a man who was drowning in his own muddy thoughts until he discovered the incredible, life-changing power of a calm mind. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful town, there lived a man named Michael. To everyone else, Michael looked like a success. He was known for working hard. He ran a small, beautiful furniture shop. He was the first to open his shop in the morning and the last to lock the door at night. But what was happening inside Michael? Was he peaceful? Was he happy? No. Inside, his mind was a storm. It never stopped. While he was sanding a chair, was he thinking about the wood? No. He was worrying. Did I order enough wood? What if that new competitor across town steals my customers? Did that last customer sound happy, or were they just being polite? He worried about bills he had to pay. He worried about competitors who didn't even know he existed. He worried about things that had not happened and would never happen. And at night, was that his time for rest? Have you ever lain in bed, your body aching with exhaustion, but your mind just won't shut down? That was Michael. He would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying every mistake, every word he wished he hadn't said, every customer he wished he had handled differently. He would often whisper into the darkness, if only I could stop my thoughts, just for one moment.
Then the breaking point came. After a long, stressful week, Michael lost his biggest client. Why? Because he had been overthinking. He was so worried about losing them that he promised them a deadline he knew he couldn't meet. He was so anxious, he kept calling them to check in until his anxiety drove them away. The client called. They were polite but firm. "We're going with someone else, Michael." Click. His hands shook. His head pounded. He walked to the back of his shop, sat down on a pile of sawdust, and for the first time, he just broke. He whispered to the empty room, "Why? Why does my life feel like it's spinning out of control? I try so hard, I think so hard, but everything just gets worse." Just then, the bell on his shop door chimed. It was an old man named Mr. Robert. He was a quiet, retired schoolteacher who often came by just to sit and have tea. He saw Michael's pale, defeated face. He didn't rush. He just asked softly, "What troubles you, my friend?" And Michael, he just confessed, "My mind, sir. It never stops. It's so loud. I try to fix everything. I try to think my way out of every problem, but the more I think, the worse it gets. I feel like I'm drowning." Mr. Roberts smiled gently. He didn't offer advice. He didn't give him a pep talk. He just said, "Come with me tomorrow morning. I want to show you something."
The next morning, before the sun was even up, Michael met Mr. Robert. He was tired. He was skeptical. What is this? A waste of time? His mind chattered. They walked up the hill behind the village. They reached a small, hidden pond, surrounded by tall trees. The water was perfect. It was like a sheet of dark glass. It was so calm, so still, that it was reflecting the pre-dawn sky perfectly. You couldn't tell where the water ended and the sky began. Michael just stared. The noise in his head, it hadn't stopped, but it felt quieter. "This pond," Mr. Roberts said, his voice just a whisper, "is your mind." Michael looked at him, confused. Mr. Robert picked up a heavy stick and threw it into the middle of the pond. Splash! The perfect reflection was gone. The water was a chaotic mess of ripples, of leaves, of mud that had been stirred up from the bottom. "This," Mr. Roberts said, "is your mind when you are overthinking." He looked at Michael. When the water is disturbed, what can it reflect? Can it see the sky? Can it see the truth? No. It sees nothing but its own confusion. You are constantly stirring your own water. You poke at the past. You throw rocks at the future. Michael watched as the ripples slowly began to fade. The mud slowly began to settle. "What do I do?" Michael asked. "How do I stop the thoughts?" "You don't," Mr. Roberts said. "Did you see me fight the ripples? Did you see me shout at the mud to settle? No, all I did was nothing. I just let it be." You don't have to stop your thoughts, Michael. You just have to stop stirring them.
From that day on, Michael's life changed. He started visiting the pond every morning. He would just sit for 10 minutes. He sat quietly. He breathed deeply. He just watched the water. Was it easy? No. The first day, it was awful. The moment he sat down, his mind exploded. "This is stupid. You should be at the shop. Did you lock the door? What about that client? You need to call them. This is a waste of time. You're a failure. This will never work." His first instinct was to fight those thoughts, to argue with them. "No, I'm not. This is a good idea." But what did that do? It just stirred the water. He remembered Mr. Roberts' new advice. Don't fight your thoughts. Just let them pass, like clouds in the sky. You are the sky. You are not the cloud. So he tried. The thought would come, "You are going to be bankrupt." And Michael would just breathe. He would notice the thought and just let it go. He didn't fight it. He didn't believe it. He just let it pass. This was the real work. Day by day, small changes. He started to listen more than he talked. He smiled more. When a problem came up, a difficult customer, a late shipment, did he panic? No. He felt the urge to panic, but he would just breathe. He would let the mud settle. And in that new, quiet space, he found the answer.
And then the real test came. One night, Michael woke to the smell of smoke, shouting. He ran outside. His shop, his beautiful shop, the one he had spent his life building, it was on fire. Flames were leaping into the night sky. The whole village was there, shouting, throwing buckets of water. His friend, the one who worked next door, ran up to him, his face black with soot. "Michael, my God, your life's work! It's all gone! How can you—" He stopped, because Michael wasn't panicking. He wasn't crying, he wasn't yelling, he was just standing, calmly, watching the flames. He was breathing. His friend grabbed his shoulders. "How can you be so calm? You've lost everything!" Michael turned and looked at his friend. His face was sad, but it was peaceful. "No," Michael said, his voice quiet but clear. "I've lost wood, I've lost nails, I've lost furniture." He put a hand on his own chest. "I have not lost my peace. I can't rebuild the shop if I let my mind burn down with it." It took months, but Michael rebuilt his shop. And it was better. It was stronger. He worked with patience. He treated people with a new, quiet kindness. And soon, he became known for something more than his furniture. He became known for his peace. People came to his shop just to be in that calm space. They would ask him, "Michael, how did you stay so calm through everything?" And Michael would just smile. He would take them to that same quiet pond, and he would say, "When your mind is calm, you can see the solution even in the middle of the fire." So, my friend, what about you? How noisy is your mind right now? How muddy is your water? Life will never stop throwing stones into your pond. That is a guarantee. But you can choose to stop stirring. A calm mind doesn't mean a life without problems. It means a mind that is strong enough not to drown in them. Peace is already inside you. It's just waiting for you to be still.